Hey there, my name's Adam. I'll admit, I never thought I'd end up here, telling this story. But, life's a funny thing. You never really know how far you can fall until you're at the bottom. And for me, that fall came in a way I never saw coming. I'm not a stranger to risk, or the grind that comes with trying to make it in the modern world. I've been in the game long enough to know how things work, or at least, how they should work. My story isn't one of blind luck, and it's definitely not a rags to riches fairy tale. It's a story of hustling, failing, and trying to rebuild from nothing. When I first started my journey into entrepreneurship, I was 19, broke, and had no idea what I was doing. But I had something a lot of people don't have: an appetite for risk. I wanted to be the guy who made it big without needing a traditional job. And I was smart enough to know the world was changing. The 21st century wasn't the same as it used to be. The opportunities that were out there, crypto, dropshipping, e-commerce, affiliate marketing, and all the other ways people were making money, I was ready to dive into all of it. So I did. I spent hours every day on YouTube, reading blogs, and joining forums. I joined dropshipping platforms and set up my first store. The early days were rough. I didn't really get how to drive traffic to my site, and my conversion rates were abysmal. But I was learning. I was working with Shopify, and I started to experiment with Facebook ads. That's when things started to change. I found a product that hit. It was a simple gadget, nothing fancy, but it was trending, and I had just enough understanding of how to market it to get sales. I sold 500 units in my first month. My first real taste of success. I did the math: if I could keep this up, I'd be making $10,000 per month in no time. That was just from one product. The possibilities seemed endless, but here's the thing about chasing success at full speed: you lose sight of everything else. I got cocky. The sales were good. The money was coming in. I was 20 years old, and I felt invincible. Then, crypto came calling. I had heard about Bitcoin when it was in its infancy, but I didn't understand it. But by 2020, things were different. It was on everyone's radar. So, I decided to try my hand at it. I dove deep into altcoins, NFTs, and all the latest trends. I made my first real crypto investment, $5,000, into a project that I thought had great potential. I watched it grow, and I got hooked. I doubled my investment, then tripled it. I thought I was a genius. I expanded my portfolio, trying new things like yield farming and staking. I kept thinking, this is the future. This is how people get rich. But even then, I didn't truly understand the volatility of the market. I didn't understand the psychological toll it could take. You see, when you're in crypto, you watch numbers swing up and down like a roller coaster. It's exciting, but it's terrifying too. At the same time, I was scaling my e-commerce business. I had multiple stores running, sourcing products from suppliers in China and selling them worldwide. The income kept growing. I was making more than I'd ever dreamed of. By 21, I was pulling in $30,000 a month from dropshipping, $10,000 from crypto investments, and I was doing some affiliate marketing that brought in an additional $5,000 a month. I thought I had it all figured out. And that's where I made my first mistake: I started living like I had made it. I wasn't just buying the things I needed, I was buying things I wanted. I went all in. I spent weekends partying, staying out all night. I drank, I smoked, I did whatever felt good in the moment. I was living fast. I didn't realize how quickly I was slipping until I found myself one night, after a particularly hard binge, looking at my phone and seeing the balance of my crypto portfolio. The market had tanked, Bitcoin had dropped nearly 20% in a single day, and everything I owned in altcoins was down 30%, 40%, 50%. I was watching everything I had worked for evaporate in real time, but that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was that I didn't even care. I kept going. I kept drinking. I kept throwing money away like it didn't matter. The e-commerce business? It wasn't doing as well either. I had focused too much on crypto and neglected the stores. My ad spend was too high, and my margins were too thin. Slowly, everything started to crumble. By the end of the year, I had lost nearly $200,000 in the market, money that wasn't just crypto. Some of it was my e-commerce capital. The worst part was, I didn't even have the guts to face the reality of it. I thought about quitting everything. I thought about walking away and getting a normal job. But here's the thing, you don't come back from rock bottom until you hit it. You don't realize how bad things are until you can't deny it anymore. And when I finally woke up, truly woke up, I had nothing left. All the money, all the plans, the future I thought I was building, it was all gone. This is where most people would give up. But I didn't. Because I had no choice. I wasn't about to go back to working a 9 to 5 just to survive. No way. I was going to climb out of this hole, piece by piece. And that's when I realized just how much the world had changed. There are more ways to get rich now than ever before, and that's what kept me going. What I'm about to tell you is what I learned through all of this. It's a list of every single way you can hustle and make money today, from my experience. So stick with me, because I'm about to go deep. Alright, so where were we? Oh right, back to square one. I was broke, alone with a pile of mistakes, and a bunch of financial lessons learned the hard way. It's funny, when you lose everything, you realize how little the material stuff mattered. But it was the mental and emotional toll that really hit me. I had this overwhelming sense of failure hanging over me, and for a while, I wasn't sure how to dig myself out, but that's the thing about hitting rock bottom, it's also the perfect time to start over. There's no need to pretend anymore. I didn't have a choice but to take an honest look at myself, at my situation. And that's when I realized how many opportunities were still out there. You see, the world doesn't stop moving just because you've had a setback. In fact, the pace of change today is faster than ever. You can't just focus on one thing and expect to make it. You need to be adaptable, willing to pivot, and open to learning constantly. So, I did. I started by researching the markets again, not just crypto or e-commerce. I needed a full spectrum of options. And let me tell you, there are so many ways to make money in the 21st century. But it's not just about jumping on the latest trend, you need to have a plan, to see the bigger picture. Here's a breakdown of what I've learned in the last couple of years, and how I'm slowly rebuilding from scratch. Point 1. Crypto. I didn't completely give up on crypto. I learned the hard way, but I also realized that the market wasn't going anywhere. The volatility can work for you if you know how to ride the waves, but you need to do it with strategy. I went back to basics and started learning more about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the smaller altcoins that were showing real potential. The key here isn't to chase the hype, it's to find projects that have long-term viability. I invested in a mix of larger coins and smaller, high-risk projects, but this time, I diversified. I made sure that my investments weren't all in the same basket. I also started learning more about decentralized finance, DeFi, and yield farming. By staking certain coins, I was able to earn passive income while still holding my investments. But here's the thing, it's still incredibly risky, and I wasn't about to put all my money into crypto again. No, I had to spread out my focus. Total invested, $15,000, spread across stable coins, DeFi protocols, and a few altcoins. Point 2. Dropshipping. I wasn't going to make the same mistake twice. I went back to dropshipping, but this time, I did things differently. I focused on high-ticket items rather than low-cost ones. I learned that selling expensive products meant higher margins and less volume, which ultimately made it easier to manage, but I didn't just set up a store and cross my fingers. I put real effort into product research, marketing strategies, and customer service. I realized that the successful dropshipping stores weren't the ones with the cheapest products but the ones with the most value. So, I started focusing on premium brands, niche products that had loyal followings and were willing to pay a bit more. Instead of relying solely on Facebook ads, I focused on creating valuable content and building an email list. By offering discounts, exclusive offers, and educational content, I built trust with my audience. The traffic started coming in slowly but surely, and I began to see profits again. Initial investment, $5,000, for the website, ads, and initial product stock. Point 3. E-commerce and print on demand. After dropshipping, I took a more sustainable route with e-commerce, but I didn't want to be stuck with inventory that could sit unsold for months. So, I dove into print on demand, POD, where you design products, and the manufacturer prints and ships them on demand. The beauty of POD is that I didn't have to deal with any upfront inventory costs. I focused on creating unique, branded products that people could connect with. The key here was to niche down even further. Instead of trying to appeal to everyone, I started creating designs for specific subcultures, communities, and even within certain professions. I didn't expect it to blow up overnight, but within 6 months, my POD business was generating consistent income. I used platforms like Printful and Printify to fulfill orders, so I didn't need to worry about logistics. It was like dropshipping, but with more creative control. Initial investment, $2,000, for website setup, branding, and initial ad spend, 0.4. Affiliate marketing. This was something I had overlooked in the past, but after I lost everything, I realized that affiliate marketing was one of the best ways to make passive income. It's a model where you promote other people's products and earn commissions on sales made through your referral links. I focused on high-ticket affiliate programs that offered recurring commissions. Think software subscriptions, online courses, and other digital products that people actually need. I spent time writing blog posts, creating YouTube content, and building a social media presence around a specific niche. The idea was to build trust with my audience by genuinely offering value, not just selling things. Eventually, my affiliate income started to roll in. It wasn't massive, but it was consistent. And as my content grew in reach, so did my commissions. Initial investment, $1,500, for blog setup, content creation, and advertising, 0.5. Online courses and coaching. This one was a game changer. I realized that I had a wealth of knowledge from my experiences, both the successes and the failures. People were willing to pay for information that could help them avoid the mistakes I made. So, I created an online course teaching others how to succeed in dropshipping, e-commerce, and crypto. I also offered one-on-one coaching. I used platforms like Teachable and Udemy to host the courses, and I promoted them through my social media and email lists. The income wasn't immediate, but it started to build momentum. It took time to create content that truly helped people, but it paid off in the long run. Initial investment, $3,000, for course creation, website, and marketing, 0.6. Real estate was always on my radar, but I didn't think I could afford it. That's when I learned about REITs, real estate investment trusts. It's like investing in real estate without actually owning property. I started with a small amount of money and diversified my portfolio in real estate, earning passive income without the headache of being a landlord. Initial investment, $5,000, in a diverse portfolio of REITs. Now, these weren't the only ways I could have made money, but these were the avenues that made the most sense to me. There are plenty of other ways to hustle in today's economy: digital marketing agencies, content creation, NFT flipping, and more. The point is, in today's world, there's no shortage of ways to get rich. You just have to pick the right ones and not spread yourself too thin. I went through some serious struggles, and I'm not out of the woods yet. But I'm closer to where I want to be. It's going to take time, it's going to take effort, and it's going to take smart decisions. But here's the thing: no matter where you are, no matter what's happened, there's always a way to start again. So that's what I'm doing, starting again. This time, with a better plan. Alright, here we are. The final chapter. After all the setbacks, lessons, and mistakes, it feels like I've finally learned how to move forward, without looking back, or at least without getting stuck in the past. I've gone through a lot to get here, and while I'm not there yet, I'm in a much better place than I was before. It's crazy to think about how much I've changed in just a few short years. When I first started out, I was chasing money. I was obsessed with the idea of having it all: fast cars, flashy clothes, endless parties. But what I didn't realize was that chasing the wrong things would only lead to burnout and failure. Now, I chase something different: stability, growth, and the ability to make decisions based on what's truly important to me, not what's trending. The turning point, it was that moment, when I had nothing left, that forced me to take a step back. I remember standing in my small apartment, looking at the bare walls and thinking about how far I'd fallen. The noise of the world and the pressure to keep up had almost broken me. But there was something else too. I started to see all of those things I had learned not as failures, but as lessons. Every mistake, every poor investment, every moment of doubt, it all led to this moment where I could sit down and truly understand the value of what I was trying to build. Here's the thing: success isn't about avoiding mistakes. It's about how you deal with them when they happen. Life will knock you down. But if you have the right mindset, you can get up, adjust, and find a new path forward. That's what I did: rebuilding, patience and persistence. After taking some time to regroup, I focused on building my businesses from the ground up. I didn't rush. I gave myself permission to take things slow, to not expect instant success. I learned that growth happens in stages. Sometimes you need to step back before you can move forward. I stopped trying to build everything at once. Instead, I focused on getting one thing right before moving on to the next. My e-commerce business had a solid foundation now, and my crypto investments were diversified and stable enough to provide consistent passive income. I stopped chasing the next big thing and started making smarter, smaller decisions. One of the hardest lessons I had to learn was patience. When you're used to making quick decisions, it's easy to forget that the best investments take time to pay off. This wasn't just about money, it was about everything. Building relationships, creating value for customers, and even my personal growth. I wasn't trying to get rich quick anymore, I was building something real. A new mindset: I started investing in myself. No, not just in the next big crypto project or in another business venture. I started reading more, learning new skills, and focusing on my health. I realized that without a strong mind and body, nothing I built would matter. It was about balance. It wasn't about working 16-hour days anymore, it was about working smarter and being intentional with my time. I also spent more time giving back. I started mentoring other entrepreneurs who were just getting started, teaching them what I had learned along the way. There's something powerful about helping others on their journey. It's not just about money, it's about building a community, building something that lasts. One of the biggest changes I made was learning to detach my self-worth from my net worth. When you tie your value to how much money you have or how successful you appear, you're setting yourself up for failure. I had to learn to define success in other ways, by the impact I made, the relationships I built, and the person I became. Reaching my goals, slowly but surely. The thing about success is that it doesn't always come as quickly as you expect. In fact, it rarely does. But with the right mindset, it does come. And it's often better than you imagine. By focusing on the things that truly matter, patience, persistence, and balance, I was able to slowly rebuild my wealth. But this time, I wasn't just rebuilding what I had lost. I was building something stronger. Something that could withstand the ups and downs of life. The stability I wanted, I was finally creating. It wasn't just about financial freedom anymore, it was about freedom in every sense of the word. The freedom to choose, to live without fear of losing it all, to be in control of my life in a way I never was before. And let me tell you, that's the real prize. Moving forward, as I sit here writing this, I realize that the journey is far from over. I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm closer than I was. And that's enough for now. I know the road ahead won't always be smooth, but I'm ready. Because I've learned that the most important thing isn't the destination, it's who you become along the way. I've listed the ways to get rich in the modern world: cryptocurrency, e-commerce, affiliate marketing, and all the others. But I want to leave you with this: it's not the methods that matter. It's your mindset. It's your ability to learn, adapt, and grow. It's about understanding that success isn't about making a quick buck, it's about building a life that's worth living, and that's what I'm doing now. Building, learning, growing. One step at a time. So, if you're reading this and thinking you're too far gone, trust me, you're not. If I can come back from losing everything, you can too. Just take it one step at a time. Keep learning. Keep growing. And most importantly, keep moving forward.